Good morning everyone, my name is Valeria and today I'm going to guide you through a very nice flow. It's a moon energy flow and some poses are not exactly for beginners, but we can use props and modifications so that everyone can try to do them. Don't worry if you struggle, I still struggle and it's okay. We just have to listen to our bodies and respect where they are, what they're able to do and what they're not. And in time, we will acquire new abilities, and our body always changes. So we have to be grateful for what we have and enjoy every single moment. So without further ado, let's jump into our moon practice. So let's start in easy pose, Sukhasana, or any comfortable seat. Let's get in contact with our body. We can place a hand to our heart and a hand on our belly to make sure that we are breathing properly. We want to feel our belly rising when we inhale, and then we feel our lungs. So after feeling the hand on our belly rising, we will feel the hand on our heart or our lungs rising. And when we exhale, we feel our hands going down. So we're gonna do a little pranayama session. We want to inhale to the count of 4, hold the breath to the count of 4, exhale to the count of 4, and hold our lungs and our diaphragm empty to the count of 4. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, exhale. 2, 3, 4, hold. And you can count by yourself. Now, it's the moment to say your intention, a small sentence at present tense. For example, I am full of creative energy. I'm loved. I'm ready for my practice. So let's start our warm-up into all 4 for a little cat-cow. Hips over knees, wrists over shoulders. Inhale and exhale when we do our cat. Inhale, exhale. We're stretching the spine here and the neck as well. Exhale. Now we're gonna warm up our wrists a little bit Just put a little bit of your body weight on your wrists, not too much because you just want to warm them up and not get injured. So fingers toward you and fingers toward the mat. Then on the same thing on the top of the hand, you repeat this movement a few times with very little body weight on your wrists. Now you can do some circles with your wrist to the right and to the left. Extend your arms and bend to the right and then bend to the left or the other way around. We want to stretch the spine laterally now. Make sure to lengthen through your spine, so even if you are bending laterally, you always want to have this extension that goes to the crown of your head. Now let's go back to all four. Open up to the left and thread the needle. You can extend the top arm and hold the pose for 5 breaths. Then back to all four, extend the right arm overhead and thread the needle. Again, you can extend the top arm and hold the pose for 5 breaths. You want to feel a nice stretch to that side of the body with the extended arm. Now little circles with your shoulders toward the front and then backwards. Make sure that our shoulders are warm. Now a little cat-cow, but sitting. A little movement, try to do a little movement with your neck so it warms up. And now we're going to do cobra. No pushing, just let your body weight and gravity do the work. You can feel your spine. Getting flexible and acquire mobility, just letting it go with gravity and with your body weight. You are not pushing. You can turn your head to the right, inhale back to center. Turn your head to the left as you exhale, back to center, inhale, back to the right when you exhale. And now we do a counter pose, so we get into extended child pose. We hold it for 5 breaths. Feel a good stretch that goes from your glutes to your fingers. And back to cobra. Again, you will feel that your spine is way more mobile and more flexible. You will feel that your bend is way deeper than it was before. You can try and bend your neck backwards, but not if you have neck issues. And then a little counter pose. We go back into extended child pose. Feel again a beautiful stretch from your glutes to your fingers. And remember to breathe deeply when you hold the pose. Hold it for 5 breaths again. So now a little twist. You stand on your knees and you hold your shoulders straight. Place right hand to left hip and then the opposite. Just a little twist. Now we are warming up our ankles. So again, with a body weight, we just let the body act on the joints. Just a little body weight, of course, we don't want to get hurt, but we want to give that energy to the ankles so that they acquire a bit more mobility and flexibility. You can just stay with your leg bent, and so that all the weight and the energy is channeled to the ankle, or you can hold Skandasana like I'm doing here, and before I just did a little Malasana See, you can transition from Skandasana to the left and to the right through Malasana. We just want to hold the knee bend, the ankle bend. Now a little more work to warm up the knee, the ankles and the feet. So we do a little dorsiflexion and extension. Dorsiflexion, extension. Dorsiflexion, extension. Dorsiflexion, extension. Fourfold. To stretch the muscles of the legs and the glutes, the calves, the hamstring. Holding our feet if we can. Now we do a little reverse plank to counter the forward fold. Now we are ready to start our beautiful Moon Salutation. We start in Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead, clench your thumbs. Now standing crescent to the right and to the left. As you exhale, back to center. 5-pointed star. Fingers active. As you exhale, you bend to Goddess. Option to raise your heel. Back to 5-pointed star. And triangle. Back foot is parallel to the end of the mat. The front foot is perpendicular. Look up to your fingers. Now you enter pyramid. Feet remain the same. Bend your back knee and enter Anjaneyasana. Skandasana. Try to keep the heel of the bent leg on the floor if you can. Malasana and transition to Skandasana on the other side. Inhale, fingers active. As you exhale, bend into Anjaneyasana and lift up into pyramid pose. Back foot is parallel to the end of the mat. Front foot is perpendicular. Open up to triangle and look up to your fingers. Up into 5-pointed star. Exhale into Goddess. Strong thighs. Back into 5-pointed star. And Tadasana. Inhale, arms up, exhale. Deep breath in, arms up, Tadasana. Standing crescent to the right and to the left as you exhale. 5-pointed star. Exhale, Goddess pose. 5-pointed star and transition into triangle. This time the left leg is in the front. Pyramid pose. Bend your knee and enter Anjaneyasana. Bend your back as you exhale, strong core. Transition into Skandasana. Yogi squat, Malasana. Skandasana to the right. Frame your foot with your hands. And Anjaneyasana, core engaged when you bend backwards. Pyramid pose. As you inhale, triangle and look up to your fingers. Back up to 5-pointed star and goddess as you exhale. 5-pointed star and Tadasana. Exhale. As you inhale, arms overhead and bend right, and then back to center. Inhale, bend to the left, exhale. 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Back to 5-pointed star and triangle. Look up to your fingers. Pyramid pose. Anjaneyasana, bend backwards, fingers engaged. Skandasana to the right. Transition through Malasana Yogi Squat. And then Skandasana to the left. Frame your foot with your hands. And Anjaneyasana. Exhale, keep your core engaged. Pyramid pose. And triangle, look up to your fingers. Rise up to 5-pointed star, and as you exhale, goddess pose. 5-pointed star. And Tadasana. Deep breath. Bend to the right. Inhale, back to center, back to the left. 5-pointed star. Goddess pose. Triangle. Look up to your fingers. Pyramid. Anjaneyasana. Bend your back and keep the core engaged. Skandasana to the left. Malasana. Yogi Squat. And Skandasana to the right. Frame your foot. Knee on the ground. Knee over ankle. Bend backwards. Anjaneyasana. Back into pyramid pose. Open up to triangle. Look up to your fingers. 5-pointed star. Sharp gaze. And exhale, goddess. Sharp gaze. You are beautiful. You are a goddess. You are strong. 5-pointed star and back to center in Tadasana, arms overhead. So for the next sequence, we want to have a chair, a block, and be close to a wall. Inhale in Tadasana. We're going to do 3 poses. So we put our weight on the right leg, and the left foot can be up close to the pelvis, under the knee, or if you prefer just by your ankle. Most important is not to put it on the knee, because the knee joint is not made to be pushed outwards. So you have your options. Do what makes you feel more comfortable. As well as for the arms, they can be on your hips, in front of the heart, behind your back. I like to hold them as 3 branches to have all the energy channeled toward my chakras. You can have your palms together above your head, and we are going to hold pose for 5 breaths. Remember to lengthen through your spine, tuck your pelvis under, your core is engaged, your fingers are active. Remember to breathe while you hold the pose. Then we slowly turn the knee in front of us and go into stock pose, water dancer, stock pose, water dancer, stock pose, water dancer, stock pose, water dancer, flowing like water, stock pose, water dancer. And in the last transition I'll do it sideways so you can see. We'll go from water dancer to warrior 3. Both legs are straight and we form a T shape. Hips are both parallel to the floor. If this pose is a bit challenging, you can use the support of a chair. Just try to hold on to the chair as lightly as you can, so you can try and see if you can rely on your own balance. Taking your hands away from the chair, but there's nothing wrong with using a little support. So you can definitely feel free to use the chair if you prefer to practice warrior 3. That way you can also use the support of a wall or of a wardrobe in my case. But first I want to show you the sequence, and then I will practice it with you using the support of a wall or a wardrobe in my case. Make sure you also have your block with you, because we are going to need it for half moon and revolved half moon. So we want to go from warrior 3. We hold on to our block, we open our hips, keeping our legs straight, and we open up. In this case we open up to the left, hips open so they are one on top of the other. Then we go back to center and we twist our chest to the left. So in this case hips are like in warrior 3, both parallel to the floor, back to center and forward fold. And now I will practice the pose as I said, practice the sequence as I said, using the support of the wardrobe. So I will show you from the side so that you can have a better view. Now make sure again you have your block with you, and you have to be as far away as your leg is long from the wall or the wardrobe again in my case. Now let's do tree pose, standing on the right leg. You see we hold it for 5 breaths. Again you have your options with legs and with the foot, where to place the foot and the arms. Hold it for 5 breaths. You see my knee is it looks like it goes in the front. It's because my legs are not straight, so my feet look outwards, my knees look inwards, so it looks a bit funny on me, but all the bodies are different and all the bodies are okay. You don't have to look like a yoga pose in the manual. So now we do again into stock pose and water dancer for 5 times each. Stock pose, water dancer, stock pose, water dancer, stock pose, water dancer. And this time we transition into warrior 3. We can use the support of the wall. If you are too close, just step a bit further or be closer. Adjust your distance, and you can place your foot and even push on the wall as you execute and practice warrior 3. Then you hold on to the block, open your hips, lengthen your arm, and this is Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Keep pushing with your foot against the wall. Back to center, warrior 3, hips. Twist your chest, lengthen your arm overhead, and this is revolved half moon. Back to center, exhale, and forward fold. Now, if you don't feel comfortable practicing half moon and revolved half moon, you can just stay in warrior 3 and you can practice. You can see if you can maybe move your foot away from the support and rely on your own balance. You can just stay in warrior 3, that's perfectly fine. Now let's do the same sequence on the left. So Tadasana, shift your weight on the left leg and enter tree pose. You have your options. You can place your foot by your groins or keep it lower. Arms can be overhead, to chest, behind your back. You have your options. We hold it for 5 breaths. Remember to lengthen your spine through the crown of your head. Keep the core engaged. All your muscles are strong. Feet are strong. Fingers are engaged. Keep breathing. Then we shift into stock pose, water dancer, 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 and warrior 3 this time. Again, adjust your distance from the wall if it is not the right one, so you can extend your leg completely. Both of them need to be straight. If you can, obviously, push with your foot against the support, then grab your block, open your hips, open your chest, and practice Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Try to see maybe if you can let go of the block and move your foot away from the wall. Just practice, see how it goes. Then back to center. Warrior 3 hips. Twist your core toward left. Open up your arm, and this is revolved half moon. Again, try to see if maybe you can move your foot away from the wall and let go of the block. See how your balance is. Stare at one point, that's gonna help you, and then we go back into forward fold. Deep breath. We can stay here for a couple of breaths. Inhale, Tadasana. Now we shift the weight on the right leg, tree pose. Hold it for 5 breaths. I'm going to practice with hands to heart this time. Remember to breathe. Stock pose, water dancer, 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 and warrior 3. Adjust your distance if it's wrong again. And form a T shape with your body. Straighten your legs, grab your block, and open up your hips that are supposed to be on top of each other. Open up your chest. Half moon. Try to let go of your supports if you can. Test your balance. Keep all your body engaged. Possibly no tension in the neck, otherwise you're gonna have a headache and not so pleasant contraction. Back to center. Twist your core and half moon, revolved half moon. Let go of the supports if you can again. Warrior 3 hips, remember. Back to center and forward fold. As you exhale, feel that you can fold a bit closer to your legs. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, tree pose, shifting your weight on the left leg. This time I'm gonna practice with my hands behind my back. So in this case, I'll be squeezing my shoulder blades together. Again, you can see how my knee pops up in the front. It should be like watching a manual with this pose. It should be hidden behind the standing leg, but not all bodies are the same. Now we can also practice actually a stock pose with arms like wings, or as we have done so far with arms overhead. So stock pose, baby dancer, stock pose, baby dancer, stock pose, baby dancer, and warrior 3. T-shape with the body, all the muscles are engaged. Stare at the ground, grab your block, open your hips, twist your chest, open your chest, arm overhead, and Ardha Chandrasana. See if you can let go of the block a little bit and move your foot away from the wall or the wardrobe. Then back to center, hips in warrior 3, and twist your core, open up to the left, arm overhead, revolved half moon. Test your balance by letting go of your supports if you can. Back to center and forward fold. Exhale, let go of all the tensions. See if you can fold even deeper. Inhale, Tadasana. From Tadasana, we are going to sit on the mat into wide angle forward fold. So open your legs as much as you can, but don't go past your boundaries. You don't want to feel pain or discomfort. You can place a blanket under your sit bones. You can lay down like I'm doing, or you can just rest on your forearms, or even keep your core up. Most important is that your spine is lengthened. You don't want to try and lay down like this or rest on your forearm with your spine all curved. There is no point. You wouldn't experience the benefit of this pose, some of the benefits. So just keep your spine lengthened. If you can rest on the floor like this, that's great. If you cannot, it's also great. So now bend your legs and enter yogi squat. Tilt the pelvis forward and bring the torso between your inner thighs. Your trunk is low, the pelvis is at knee height. You have to shift the center of gravity, very careful to not fall over. And when you are ready, your thighs push against your arms and you can straighten them to enter Firefly pose. If this is too hard, just place some blankets or some bolsters, some blocks under your buttocks, and that will help you. So with your knees bent, you insert your arms under your knees, and we are going to enter tortoise pose, Kurmasana. So be gentle with your legs, don't push too much on your elbows, otherwise you might be uncomfortable. You can also keep some blankets under your core. It can be nicer for your head. If you have neck problems, make sure you keep the neck in the most neutral pose possible. Then we lift up and we are going to bend our left leg tuck the heel and the foot by the pelvis, lengthen your left side, your left arm overhead, and reach the right foot with it. The right arm, the forearm is on the floor by your right shin, and with the right hand you grab the right foot as well, and you lengthen, feel the stretch all along the left side of your body. This is revolved head to knee pose. Keep breathing. As you exhale, you feel the stretch being deeper and deeper. At the next exhale, we let go. The left leg that is bent is still bent, but we turn the hips toward that leg and we enter sleeping pigeon. Make sure the hips are both parallel to the front edge of the mat, so they are on the same level. Knee is at the level of the hip. In this case, that would be left knee to left hip, and the heel should be at the same level as the right hip. If you can lay down like this, that's great. If you want to rest on your forearm, that's great. If you want to stay up with your core, that's also great. You can rest your head on a block and you feel your hips working and opening. We go back to center now, and we change the bent leg. This time it's gonna be the right one, so we tuck the right foot by the groins and we reach with the right arm to the left foot, extend it overhead, feel the stretch in the left side of your body. The left arm is by the left shin, and you grab your foot with the left hand. As you exhale, you feel the stretch going deeper and the bend going deeper for revolved head to knee pose. Back to center. Obviously, I didn't mention it before, but if you want, you can use a strap if you cannot reach the foot. And stay with your core elevated and lengthen your arm again. So this time we are going to keep, as we did on the other side, we're going to keep the right leg bent. We turn the chest toward the right leg and we enter sleeping pigeon. Again, hips both parallel to the front edge of the mat. Right hip same level as the right knee, left heel same level as the left hip. If you want to lay down, that's great. If you want to rest on your forearms, that's great. If you want to stay up, that's also great. Feel your hips working and opening. Feel the stretch and the tension in your hips. Don't forget to breathe. Keep breathing during the whole exercise, and as you exhale, you should feel the hip being more and more open, and the bend and the opening being more and more deep. Lift your chest up. Shake your legs. Let's shake all the tension away. Little Baddha Konasana to shake all the tension. Now we are going to do a little reverse plank to counter all the bending that we did with our spine. So all the body is engaged. Fingers toward the end of the mat, wrists toward our body. You are a plank, so form a straight line with all your body, head and neck neutral. Let's hold it for 5 breaths. Keep your core engaged even when you breathe. That can be a bit tricky, but when we are ready, we lower down and we enter forward fold. Lengthen your spine, lengthen through the muscles of your leg, grab your feet. If you want to do a little extension and dorsiflexion to shake the tension of your feet as well. The ankles did a great job today, so they must be tired. If you want, you can lower down now. Open your arms in T shape, knees to chest, and drop the knees to your right. It's important to keep the left shoulder on the floor. This is the priority, because if that shoulder lifts up, you don't experience the benefit of this supine twist. So prioritize that aspect, maybe lower the knees a bit less, but keep the shoulder on the floor. Knees back to center. As you exhale, drop the knees to the left. And again, priority is to keep the right shoulder on the floor if we want to experience all the benefits of this beautiful supine twist. If it's too intense, put a block or two or a blanket where your knees are supposed to drop so they can be supported. Back to center, and you can stay in Shavasana here if you want. Otherwise, we have the option to make it a bit cozier, so we can do a supported Shavasana. We can use a bolster. I have this big cushion and a little pillow for our head. I'm gonna use a folded blanket and the blanket to cover our bodies. If you have an eye pillow, that's also great. You can place it on your eyes. So the bolster is gonna be right under our knees. And we cover our bodies, because when we are not doing any activity, the temperature of our body drops quickly. So it's nice to be all covered to keep a comfortable temperature. Close your eyes and start scanning through your body. Feel the difference between how you were feeling before your practice and how you feel now. Pay attention to your feet, the toes, the ankles, who did a really intense job in today's practice. Go up to your calves, the knees, the thighs, the hamstring, the glutes, your hips, your core, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your wrists, your fingers, your neck, your head. Make sure there is no tension held in the head. In your jaws, make sure they are soft. Make sure that your teeth are not clenched together. There must be a little space. There must be space for the tongue between your teeth. Make sure you're really not holding tension in the muscles of your face. Make some little circles with your jaw maybe, and with your tongue as well inside your mouth. Your tongue must be relaxed as well. Keep breathing as deeply as you can. Pay attention to your back. How is your back feeling? When you're ready, turn to your right and stay for a minute. Then sit back up in an easy pose or a comfortable seat. Get in contact with yourself. Deep breath. Thank you for joining me today in this practice. Hands together to the heart, to the third eye, to the heart. I bow to you. Namaste.